Hello guys, Nigel here with you, Nigel's Modelling Bench. Yes, I've got a stinking cold and you can probably hear it on my voice, so if I keep pausing it's because I have to go and cough or sneeze or blow my nose or something. Anyway, this is going to be a very quick one, and this is for, I don't know what his name is, but this is for the guy over on Plunging Fire Scale Modelling. There's a link to his channel in the description below this video. It is brilliant, his channel is amazing. He's currently building a 1/200 scale Hobby Boss Mikasa, and he's throwing scratch built Mark 1 design KA models and Pontos extras at it, and it's just beautiful. And he goes through soldering and all sorts of stuff, and it's really enjoying to watch. And what's really nice, the guy has a really soft Scottish accent. I think he lives in Australia, but he has a really soft Scottish accent. It's beautiful to listen to, and it's just great to watch, and his videos are beautifully edited. And go and take a look, go and subscribe, hit the notifications bell as well, because it's worth knowing when he puts a new video out, because it's always interesting to watch, and really good. He's just done a video now. I've done everything I've just said, so of course I get notified as soon as he puts the video out. And a few hours ago, while I was in bed, he put a video out basically talking about making eyebolts for his funnels on his Mikasa. And I'll put a picture up now that I've screenshot from his video, and you can see on his fingertip he's got, to the bottom right there is an unfolded piece of photo etch. So the idea is you fold that up and that makes an eye bolt to attach to the side of the funnel. Well, of course, the problem with that is, as you can see, the actual contact area on the side of the funnel is very small, so it's not going to be particularly strong, and if you put rigging through it, it's probably going to break off, if not now, then in a few weeks' time. So above that, he's got a commercially available eye bolt, which is obviously beautiful, but way too big. And then just to the left-hand side, in the centre sort of thing, you've got the one that he's made, and he goes through the video and shows you how to make it. And what he does, he bends the wire around a loop and solders it and everything. Well, this is a method I've always used for making eye bolts, and I just wanted to put this out there, mainly for him, but also for you guys to see how easily these things can be made using wire, and you can get a consistent, repeatable job done really easy in a fraction of the time, that pretty much ends with the same result, because at the end of the day it's going to be glued in. You're not really going to see much of the shank, you're only really going to see the loop. So basically this is what I do. So you can see here's an example. I've got 3 different sizes here. You can obviously make them in any size you want. I've got 3 different sizes here. I'll put them in the pliers so you don't have to look at my disgusting fingernails. But you can see there we have this one here. This is actually about 0.67 OD, and it's got about a 0.5 hole in it. So there's the smallest one. In the middle, we've got that one there is about 1 mil OD. And it's got about a 0.3 hole in it. And then this one here has, I think it's 1.4. Is it 1.4 OD? Let's just quickly measure it. Again, these calipers are so handy to have for modelling. 1.6 OD, and that's got like a 0.6 hole in it. So you can see you can get all the sizes you want. So depending what scale you're working in, you know, in his case it's a 1/200 ship. So that eye bolt there would be 200 times 1.6 is going to be like 300. It's going to be like a foot in diameter in scale. I don't think you're going to find an eye bolt that big. And then this one here is 1, so that's going to be 200 millimeters. So that's like 8 inches in diameter. And then this one here is 0.6, so that's going to be 0.6 times 200 is, what's that? That's 120 millimeters. So that's going to be about, so that's sort of getting close. And of course, if you go too much smaller, you get to the point where you can't physically use it. The other thing to look at is the diameter of the shank. Now, this one is made from 0.15 wire. This one is made from 0.3 wire, and this one is made from 0.5 wire. So the diameter of the shank is another consideration, because that's the size of the hole you're going to have to drill. So that one is 0.3, that one is 0.5, and that one is 0.8. Okay, so basically it's sort of 1.5. Well, in this case it's double, but these two are like 1.5 the diameter of the wire. So I'll show you how I make them and what I use to make them with. Now you can use wire and put it in a pin vise, but here what I've got is a little, this goes on the end of a syringe. Here's a straight one. So that goes on the end of a syringe. This is like a 0.3, I think, OD. 0.4. This is a 0.4 OD, so it's going to give you a 0.4 hole, basically. And all I do is bend that over like that, okay? And the reason I've used this is like a little handle to work with, rather than having a piece of 0.4 wire in a pin vise. But as I say, you could use a piece of wire, put it in a pin vise. If you're going to make thousands of the same size and you haven't got hypodermic needles hanging about, just use a piece of wire. The other one I've got here is made with a pin. This is a pin that's bent over. And all we're doing here, we're going to take our cutters. These are the, if you buy a kit from Dave Coley's Emporium there, Dave Coley's Emporium.co.uk, quite often he'll put a set of these in there in the box. And they're absolutely brilliant for cutting wire and brass and everything, because as you can see, they're as strong as anything. They don't dent like the other ones. So I'm just going to cut the end off and make sure I throw that in the bin so I don't end up standing on it. Okay, and then with a sanding stick, I'm just going to just take the sharp corner off, and then with a pair of pliers, sometimes these snap, so beware of that. With a pair of pliers, I'm just going to put a bend in the end of it, like so, like that. Okay, so it's bent over at about sort of 45 degrees. Again, that's our handle. Again, you could use a piece of wire. So this is 0.6 diameter, I think. Yeah, 0.6 diameter that one is. So we've now got a 0.6 diameter and a 0.4 diameter. All right, so we could come along with the 0.15. This is 0.15 tinned copper. Okay, so you don't have to use tin, just use ordinary copper. So we'll just cut a piece off. We just want a piece, what, about 2 inches long? Doesn't need to be anything too much. You do waste a bit of material doing this, but you could actually not cut it off and then cut it off after you've done it, and then you won't waste some of the length. So I'm going to put that like that, make that into a loop, like so. Okay. And then we're going to grab the small needle. I'm going to put that over the top like that. And then I'm literally going to twist. And just get it going like that. And then I'm going to grab this in a pair of pliers and just keep twisting until it's nice and tight. Okay, now we've got a really tight, give it a pull. Just give it a pull, and that makes sure the loop ends up central. So you can see there we've made an eye bolt in literally seconds. Okay, and then all we do is cut the end off. And now all we need to do is drill a hole, 0.4 I think it was it 0.4? 0.3 I think it was, wasn't it? 0.3 hole, super glue it in, and it's going to be as solid as anything because you've got the wire there is twisted, so you've got a rough surface, so the glue's going to really grip that, and that's going to be extremely strong for your rigging and everything. So for World War I aircraft or anything where you need to put a cable, that's one way of making an eye bolt. So that's absolutely tiny, and I think you'll find the bore of that will be 0.4 because that's the size of the wire that we wrapped it around. As I said, the OD is about 0.6, 0.7. In fact, it will be 0.7, won't it? Because it's 0.15 times 2 times plus the bore, 0.7, and then the shaft is 0.3. So there's that one, and you can you can cut off some length. And as I say, if you don't want to waste too much, what you can do is just fold the wire over. In fact, I'll show you on the next one. Okay, so this is 0.3. So this is 0.3 copper wire. All right. And what we can do here to save waste, we can make a loop in the end of that. Okay, hook that through there. Hook that through there, hold that, give it a couple of twists, just like that, and then use your pliers. I would recommend using pliers because you get a nice tight twist then. There we go. Give it a pull. And then you can cut that off, just like so, and you haven't wasted too much wire that time. So there's that one. Okay, and then what we can do is grab that one in our pliers, give it a little nudge around, get it all nice and straight, and there you can see we've made one there, and that's going to be 1mm OD, .4 bore, and I think, what was it, a .5 shank, was it? Yeah, 0.53, 0.54. So there you go. So there's another small one. Excuse me. And then for the bigger ones, here's some 0.5. This is 0.5 tinned copper wire. Again, it doesn't need to be tinned. What I'm going to do here is just straighten that out, cut a piece off, and then we can make that into a nice, you need to make this into a fairly sharp bend, otherwise it just doesn't want to go, because it's obviously a lot stronger. The bigger you get, the stronger it is. You could anneal it and soften it up, but I'm going to hold that in the pliers like that, make sure it stays in that loop, and just I'm pulling it tight. So I'm pulling them apart while I do this to make sure we keep that tight loop on the end where the pin is. Otherwise you will end up with a baggy oval hole right on the end of your eye bolt. There we go. So that's that one done, and as you can see, really neat and tidy, very uniform, very straight, and very nice indeed. But as I say, for like 200 scale, it would be absolutely massive. But I can't remember what the OD of this was now. The OD of that is 1.7. Okay, so if it was say 24th scale, what would that be? That would be 34, roughly 40 mil OD. So, you know, that would be okay for a very big eye bolt on a 24th scale, or a 16th scale, something or other. Absolutely perfect. But you're never going to really use anything that big. But if you want something strong, or you're making a big towing eye or something like that, then, you know, perfect. But there you go. There's the 3 different sizes, and obviously you can make the shank as long or as short as you want it. But there you go. So that's for whatever your name is. I can't remember what your name is, if I ever did know. Over at Plunging Fire Scale Modelling. And as I say, go take a look at his channel, go subscribe. It is really, really enjoyable to watch. You will thoroughly enjoy it, and you'll learn a lot about soldering and stuff. So there we go. Right, thank you for watching. I'll see you all soon. Bye for now.